probably Thursday night, but they're home probably Monday through Thursday. I mean that would seemingly Iron Maiden's big enough that I think they could do that, don't you? I mean they're touring like they're a band from 1984 still.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, do they have to tour as much as they do?
Here's
Because
the real
because it seems like at least here in the States, it's almost like a yearly stop off.
It's like Journey.
Year.
It's like Journey or Foreigner. Every year they're out. I agree. And honestly, I mean, I've seen them. You've seen them. We've seen them a zillion. How many times have you seen Iron Maiden? 5, 10?
At least, I want to say at least 6.
Yeah, I've seen them easily 10. Maybe more, maybe less. Well, not less. I know it ain't less, but at least 10 times I've seen them. They're, and maybe it's just me, they're not a band I need to see every year. You know what I mean? I love them. I absolutely love them. But I'm pretty good with probably every 5 years I wouldn't mind seeing them. And I would like to see them. I'd like to see one greatest hits tour and then 5 years later see like an album tour and then repeat. So that I don't, because, if you see the greatest hits tour, it's the same shit every time. And quite honestly, I don't want to see like that tour that you saw with I forget what album it was, the one with the tank.
Yeah.
These colors don't run.
Right. They played the entire thing and then,
like
the
two
entire
other
album,
songs.
and then like 2 of their classics. And that was the whole show. And people were really upset about that.
Yeah, that would suck. See, to me, that would suck. But seeing an album tour where they play 2 or 3 new songs, I'd be okay with that. But not every year. I don't need to see it every year. And I don't need to see the greatest hits. Quite honestly, I mean, dude, you've seen them. How many times did you say? 6?
Yeah, 6.
Do you care if you ever hear Run to the Hills again or Wrathchild again? Or
you know how the diehards are that go to these shows that they'll go every time they come around?
Yeah.
And then they're disappointed that they didn't play that song.
True.
Even though they may have seen it or heard it, every time they've gone to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh man, they didn't play Run to the Hills.
Yeah. Dude, how could they not play The Trooper tonight? What the fuck? I got ripped off. All right, here's the real question about this Iron Maiden news. If Dave Murray retires, let's just say sake of argument, he does. He says, all right, I'm done. I want to spend the time with the wife and the kids and the grandkids and all the bullshit that he's talking about in this interview. And I'm not going to read it, but he literally talks about that he missed his kids growing up and now he's missing his grandkids. That's kind of where he's at. And I get that, but the real question is, do they replace him or do they finally make Yannick plug his guitar in?
Probably just make Yannick step up.
You think they will?
Yeah. Why would you add another guitarist, and split the pie with a new guy?
Because they need a dancer. They need somebody tiptoeing around the stage, flinging around.
Right.
That's been a staple for 20 whatever years at this point. I don't know. I bet you they'd replace him.
Well, the thing, I would have a hard time imagining that they would replace him.
You think?
I mean, they got enough guitarists. I mean, do they really have to replace him?
No, they don't need him. They don't need him, or as far as I'm concerned, they're good with Adrian Smith.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need either of them.
But
not that Dave Murray's not great,
but if they want to have that twin guitar attack on a lot of their songs, I mean, having that second guitarist kind of fills out that
sure.
sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess they probably it does, but I guess it's weird. It would be weird to see Iron Maiden up there. It would be kind of like what Judas Priest is now, where we see the duo of Andy Sneap and Richie Faulkner. Not that those guys are not great, they are, but it definitely doesn't feel like Judas Priest to me when I've seen it. I don't know. Have you seen it with that lineup with the Faulkner and
but the thing is that the chemistry changes now because two of the key members that made Judas Priest are not playing the guitar parts anymore.
Yeah.
You got two replacement players, doing what the classic lineup did.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess if you replace Dave Murray, you'd still have two in Iron Maiden.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. This always goes back to where we are, what we've been preaching for a decade now, which is you better see them while you can because they are going to retire or quit or whatever. And this is a prime example. This next tour might be the last time you can see him with Dave Murray. And Dave Murray's been there since day one, right? He's been there from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to catch it that one last time. There's your hitch or your hook to get your tickets.
Right.
So I don't know. I just thought this was interesting that Dave Murray is talking realistically about leaving. I just can't imagine when you have a gig that good that you ever want to leave. Again, I'm not in it. I'm not doing the travel. I mean, it's hard pressed to get me to travel to the grocery store, so I guess I get it. But
yeah, but they don't fly commercial airlines,
No,
and you're not hustling through airports, and they're not doing all the normal shtick that you have to do as a regular Joe traveling. They have their own plane. They board and deboard in their own area. They don't have to go through TSA and all this other stuff.
And they're not staying at shitty hotels or any of that stuff. They're staying all first class. I'm sure everything is first class. Obviously the plane is theirs, so that's first class. And then certainly they're not staying at the Motel 6 so they can get a deal.